there. I have been working on projects today, and I've just been doing standalone videos. That's what this is. I go out to YouTube and do what I call a project stream, which is an unlisted stream, and then I'll review it, and if I find it's okay, I'll just let it go. But there's no music in these videos. There's no fast forwarding. There's introduction and nothing at the end. I'm not even putting in iCards or end cards or anything like that. But one other thing that I wanted to do today was work on this photo tinting. And I want to work on this page specifically. I'm very happy with this page. I like how it came out, but I don't have a lot of color on here. I have some, but this one, look at how much color I have on here. So what I thought that I would do, I want to do two things. I want to experiment with some layers. Now, Inktense, once it dries, is permanent and you can layer. And I thought I would get out my brush. Now, I have a watercolor brush type like this. And I think I'll try to put some sepia in here, maybe even tone it down a little, tone these colors down, make this photo look colored, but a little bit more vintage. So I'm going to be playing with that. Now, this is a book paper. This came out of the Time Life book, and it's a fairly strong paper. It does have a light coating on it, but it does accept the ink. And I'm not having much problem here at crinkle. So I've been playing with those, but I thought also I would play with doing something in this vintage Home Arts magazine. Now, this is more of a, I don't want to call it a newsprint, but I think this paper will absorb the watercolor, and it may react a lot differently. Now, the cover may be okay, but I'm just going to play with some of this, and I might even play in the text. Maybe in here, but see, there's a lot of black and white in here. There's a lot of black and white in these magazines, and I have several of them. Well, in fact, let's look. No, this is July of 1934. This one is 1932, and it is, I paid about $1 a piece for these, approximately. And it says 1932, April of 1932. And this one is January of 1932. Then I think I'll use this one. And I think I'll work with this first. And all I'm going to do is I want to tone down all these bright colors with some sepia type. Maybe even some yellow ochre. Let me spray some water in this little tray. I'm getting out of water here. I'm going to have to go fill my water spritzer. And let's start with, well, I'm not sure I've got a good yellow ochre in here. So I might go for this light tannish color here. And let's try it here in the, let's just bring it out. Oops. What I want to do, and I might even need to smooth this out a little. Let's get out a paper towel. Let's get out a paper towel. I have it handy. It is smoothing out. Now, this is paper, and you can expect it to wrinkle a little. I'm not expecting miracles out of this. Now, I'm finding that it's blending a little here. I am liking this a lot better. I feel like I'm bringing it back to the aging stage. where these colors are falling into the background a little bit more and are not quite so bright. When you look at photo tinting, you really, the colors that they used back in the mid 1800s were light, and I want to say pastel-y, but they were not in your face colors. I think I'm liking this a lot more, just kind of muting these colors down a little, and even this blue. Now, because this is a coated paper, I think that it is reacting with my layered here. I'm finding that it is almost blending in with the colors I already have on the page, and I'm surprised at that. But I do know that when I put this Inktense on a tin lid, I can reconstitute it. So even though they say Inktense is permanent, I think that it's permanent on certain media and not so permanent on others, because I'm finding that I can almost change. Now I'm trying to leave the little dollies alone. But oh, see, I've changed the whole aspect of this. Let's get a little white, tannish white in here, and let's just tone down some of these bright white areas with a little. And yeah, I do put color on color in my palette. I do that. Let's see if I can't. And even in here, maybe tone these colors down a little. Just a little. Maybe tone her down a little in here. Whoops, I've got it. This is my brush. I left it in water. Yeah, I think because this is a coated paper that my ink is reacting differently on here than what I'm expecting. But this is how you learn. This is how you learn things. I'm liking this a lot better. Let's bring this, and let's tone this all down in here. Let's just age this. Let's just age it. A little bit more browns in here. And I'm tending to want to leave their faces alone for now. I'm not pretending to be an expert in this. I'm not even pretending, not pretending at all. I'm just having fun. That's what I'm doing. I am much happier with this. In fact, I think I want to add just a little bit more brownish colors in here. I can kind of smoosh that out a little. Yeah. I think I'm happier with this. Let's see. This area in here. Yeah, and maybe even that green is too green. Let's get rid of some of that greenish. And it leaves a hint, but it's not in your face. And the same way with the whites and the pinks. You get a hint of color, but it's not bright color. Yeah. Much happier with that. I'm experimenting. Now you could go in and do pin work and everything else on here, paint this out you know, you could almost fussy cut these folks out here, but I'm going to leave it as it is because it's a learning experience for me. Now, the other thing that I wanted to do in this video was experiment with the ink tints in one of these magazines. I'm tempted to experiment on the back of this, even though, well, this is the cover, and I think it's just a little bit different than paper than what's in here. In fact, I'm sure of it. Look at that. Mr. Coffee Nerves takes another beating. 4th of July festivities. Oh, let's see. I'm looking for something that catches my eye. Look at that fly. Look at that fly. That's an inspiration for a stamp. Well, I want to try. I'm not going to mess with these. I'm happy with those. At first, I think I'm going to try, because what caught my eye first was this, but I do think it's a different type of paper than what's inside of here. So we're going to try this first. And let's also try mixing a little color, because that was a question that I think it was asked in my stream. And I'm going to mix some of this blue, and I'm going to mix it with some of this brown, medium brown. It kind of comes out a reddish dark blue. Well, trying to not get too bad in here. There. So yeah, you can mix the colors. Let's go in. Now see, this is very dark, but look what it is on the page here. And I'm finding that this might have a little coating on it. That's almost too dark for me, but look, it's taking off some of the ink. It looks like it's removed a little of the ink in here. This, if I put too much water on this and smish it out, it looks like it's taking off some of the. Let's go in with some reddish brown in here and see what that does. Oh, I'm liking that. Let's bring it down. And let's just blot it instead of rubbing it. See what this is the color that I have on my brush. And maybe if I zoom in, you're looking at a different view. Let me zoom in. It's hard to see what I'm seeing. Let's zoom in a little. One more? No. Let's try that. And when it dries a little lighter too. But let's see, what kind of a dress would she have on? I'm going to give her a teal blue dress here. And just very light. Very light. But I am finding that even when I go in light, I don't get that pigment on there like I'm expecting. And I think that's why I go heavier. Now, she probably has, this looks like it might be a fur collar, but it looks like the teal might come out this way. Anyway, that's what I'm seeing. Whoops, I got it kind of colored her hand in there, but then we'll just go that way. Kind of happy with that. Shall we stick with blue there? Or I'm wanting to go pink, but nah. What would you wear? Maybe a creamy yellow, light greeny, creamy. Yeah, I'm just playing with my colors here. I'm just playing with them. Let's give her and you could probably hardly tell the color, the pigment that I'm putting on there. Maybe a little bit more yellow in there. And let's let that come down. Let's put some yellow, maybe a little brighter yellow flowers on the table. Now, of course, the men all have white shirts on for sure. But let's pretend that they've got a real light rosy, maybe here, with some white. Add some white. I tend to, let's just, and you're not going to see that too well. You're not going to see that too well. Let's just add some. I don't think you're seeing the rose that I'm seeing on there. And that's why when I start adding more color, because let's zoom in one more. Let's zoom in one more. See if I'm just experimenting. I'm experimenting with my camera as much as with the, you can see it a little better. That tablecloth, not too much though. When it dries, it tends to dry a little lighter. Let's just put a little bit more rose on there. A little bit more rose in there. And I'm just kind of swooshing it in there. I'm not, now see, I've got, and I'm not fooling with their faces. I'm just doing quick strokes here. I'm kind of happy with that. I'm sort of happy with it. Looks like this might be a part of a chair back there, but we're going to blend it in with the table. Now, I do like that she's blue. Her dress is blue, and this is yellow, and it kind of blends in with the tablecloth. So your eye goes here. So I think I'll add some more blue here. Now, what will be very interesting is when this dries, to see if it dries permanent on this page. On the other page, because it was a coated paper, it tended to, when I added the next layer, it tended to wipe off the top layer. And I think this paper might be soaking in. Well, I don't know. This may have a fine coating on it. So I want the focal point to be that dress. My poor paintbrush. I am so hard on my paintbrushes. Very, very hard on them. I want to still add more blue in here. See, I want your eye to go right to this lady. Right there. Now I could add more color in here, but I think what I'll do is add the color on her dress. Maybe in the back here. And down in here. Right in there. Yeah, I guess. Maybe a little yellow in her hair. A little bit of yellow in her hair. There, I think I'll leave that. Now, but let's go back to these sepia colors and let's bring that out around in here just for the fun of it. Just to age this. This is kind of like a reddish brown. We could even add some orangey color in here. Now this is just playing. It's just playing with the colors on here. I'm not saying this is, but here's the thing. That's what they did in the mid 1800s. They did not have color photography right away, so they got out their inks and pastels and whatever they were using, and that's how they colorize their photos. I'm happy with that. So I don't have to add pink to her face. I don't have to alter. It's just enough. I'm going to dry it a little. And when you dry it, I think the colors tend to go a little bit lighter. A little lighter. And I'm happy with that. I'm very happy with it. I see this, you can't see it, but down here, right in here, it's got the word charm written on there. Attractive wives whose husbands always seem to be attentive, stunning young enchantresses, ever able to captivate men. It's a Listerine commercial. I love it. I love it. Listerine commercial. Or advertisement, a commercial. Let's flip to, I want to flip to a different page in here because I think this paper is a different, it feels different. Let's see. Shall I do her? Yeah. Here's an Ipanna toothpaste. That fly, you can't see it. Where is it? This fly is inspiring me. I'm sure there's a stamp out there like that. I could do, I think I'll do these two ladies. Let's flip the page. These two ladies right here. Novelty Stitching. Decorates sheer accessories. Now I could do her face, their faces in pink. Let's put some light pinks. Let's go in here and grab some white. And let's, can you see? Barely pink for you. Barely pink there. And I think I just want to do the entire face and kind of blot it out a little, just to give it some color. Let's do her arm. Yeah. Now I might go back in here with some shading in here. And I'm sure when that dries, it'll probably dry a little lighter. Yeah. Let's get her arm in here. Okay. And let's do around the side here in a, I have no idea what this is. It's got gold. Yeah. Kind of a green gold. But now let's check the back of this. See, I can see this is a thin, more of a thin paper. But I'm just going to kind of smoosh the color on this page. Now I'm doing this with the intention of these eventually being cut out and put in an art journal. And let's make this dress that pretty light blue. Let's just bring some of that in here. We're tinting it. We're not really painting it. We're just adding some tint. And I think I'm going to go with the, hopefully this is more of a teal. Well, no. Let's go with a light green. There. Yeah, I'm kind of happy with that. And I'm not even paying attention to, if there's white in there, I don't care for my particular purposes. Now, I think what I want to do, though, is come around with some more brownish color in here. Just to see how my paper is wrinkling when I add that water. That's okay. That's just the paper. It's getting wet. And let's give her a brownish colored here. I'm happy with that. I'm just playing with it. Just playing with it. You know, if you have colored pencils, it might be better to do a colored pencil technique on this paper. It's still thin paper. You got to be careful that you don't rip it. You know, this is wet here. It hasn't really come through. Let's dry it. Let's see what happens when I dry it. Where's my heat gun? Be happy with that. I'm thinking that I could add some dark blue in there, but I think I'm going to quit. I was listening to Tim Holtz at the Creativation 2019 January Creativation, and he had a gal who was helping him show off all the projects, the designer projects, and she was showing a piece that they had colored, and it reminded me of this technique. It was like a paper doll or a photograph, and she said crayon, so I'm thinking they're distress crayon on it, and I might try that. I have some neutral distresses. I might get that out and try crayon. So yeah, this is happening. So there we go. I'm having fun with that and fun with this, and I have toned this down. Let's zoom out a little again. There. So I don't think I can get I get that other one in here? Whoops. Where is it? Should be easy enough to find there. I'm going to bring it this way, like this, and like this. And I'll just kind of hold it there for a minute. Oh, I'll create it there. So let's go out one more. There we go. This is what I've been playing with. The coloring more. I like this so much better. I've toned this way down. It was so bright. It was almost too much in your face. And I've added sepias. But you know those greens, it didn't totally wipe out my colors because you can still see the greens in here. You can still see that blue in there. But by putting that brownish sepia color over it, it toned everything down. I've toned her yellow blouse down. I've toned down the pink on her dress. So, and then here I'm playing with this is the back side, the inside cover of a Needlecraft magazine. I still think this is a little bit heavier paper than what's actually inside of the magazine. But I played with it in here and in here and in there. I am having so much fun doing this. So much fun doing this. So I have not been concentrating on smaller pieces for my little project that I'm working on with Lisa and Tanya. I kind of veered off. I got inspired. So thank you for watching, and you're going to see me doing more of this. I will see you on the next page.